You ever see someone's whole world crumble in 5 seconds flat? Because I did right there on my front lawn when Karen called the cops on my wife for fighting a $500 HOA fine. Yeah, she thought she'd finally won. Cop shows up, starts taking Karen's side, and I'm bracing for Rachel's mugshot to hit the group chat until he glances at her driver's license, does this double take, and stammers, "Wait, General Blake?" You could hear a pin drop. Karen's smug face turned white as a sheet. And let me tell you what happened next. Turned our quiet Florida suburb into a national circus. Let me back up a sec. It started like any Saturday, beer in hand, porch swing, creaking Rachel out there in her old army t-shirt tending roses like she's leading a drill team. To look at her, you'd never guess she once commanded 3,000 troops in Afghanistan. But that's just Rachel military precision in everything from mulch borders to grocery lists. That morning, I noticed our new neighbor Megan strolling by. But it wasn't your casual dog walker vibe. She had her phone out, eyes darting over our yard like she was scanning for landmines. Then, swear to God, she whips out a ruler, crouches by our property line, and starts measuring grass. Couple hours later, boom, official-looking envelope from the HOA lands in our mailbox. Rachel opens it, and her eyebrows almost leave her face. 3 violations, $150 for unauthorized plant species. Buried somewhere in a 50-page appendix, $200 for grass height variation, and $150 because apparently our mulch border trespassed onto community land by, what, a half-inch. Everything measured and time-stamped like she was prepping evidence for a criminal trial. $500 due immediately with threats of further action if we didn't comply. There were photos, measurement logs, bylaw citations, felt more like a military dossier than a friendly neighborhood warning. Now, Rachel's no stranger to paperwork. She used to sign off on million-dollar supply contracts. But even she was stunned by the pettiness. She goes outside, finds Megan waiting on the sidewalk with a smile so polite it's practically a threat. Rachel holds up the violation, says this is harassment, not enforcement. Megan, dripping with condescension, tells her that newer residents often struggle with community standards and maybe Rachel should take a lesson from more experienced neighbors. That's when I knew we were in for it. Rachel just snapped. 20 years of discipline gone, she tore the citation in half, then in quarters, tossing pieces like confetti. Megan's eyes lit up like Christmas. She whipped out her phone, snapping pictures of the shredded notice as evidence of aggression. I could practically hear her composing the email, subject escalation of hostile behavior. I'll admit watching Rachel stand up to that nonsense felt good, even if I knew we'd pay for it later. That night, Rachel dug into the HOA bylaws and Florida statutes. Turns out those official citations were more like invoices, not legal documents. Tearing them up wasn't a crime. But Megan had what she needed, the drama. Next morning, Megan marches by, all fake friendly, now formally introducing herself as HOA president, fishing for info about our backgrounds and Rachel's work. Every answer Rachel gave Megan filed away like she was prepping for a deposition. Within a week, we're summoned to a compliance hearing. I figured we'd sit around a folding table eating donuts. Nope. They'd set up a whole courtroom vibe. Megan rolls in with a leather portfolio business suit and legal pad, looking like she's about to prosecute Watergate. Rachel presents her case by the book, citing statutes and pointing out every procedural error. For a moment, it looked like the officer in charge, some guy named Johnson, might side with us. But then Megan pulls rank. I should mention for the record, I'm a real estate attorney specializing in HOA compliance. Suddenly, she's producing corrected documentation, emails, certified mail receipts, board meeting minutes, witness signatures, every technicality covered. Johnson rules in her favor, and Rachel's left blinking her entire argument gutted on a technicality. I watched neighbors who'd always waved hello suddenly whisper behind cupped hands. Megan hands Rachel her business card. All smiles, read legal services, HOA compliance specialist. Translation: don't mess with me. That night, Rachel was on the phone with an old Army buddy, now a lawyer in Tampa. She gets the download. Reed Legal has a rep in Florida for, let's say, aggressive enforcement. They make their money manufacturing disputes, then billing for the solutions. Win or lose, they profit. The more tickets they issue, the more contracts for Reed Construction. Megan's family business. Any pushback, they'll drown you in paperwork until you either pay up or move out. No one had ever beaten Megan in a dispute until now. No one really tried. By week 3, Megan calls an emergency HOA meeting. 40 people show up. There's a PowerPoint: community harmony versus disruption. Slide after slide showing troublesome yards, anonymous stats about recent arrivals, causing issues, all pointing to Rachel without naming her. When Megan pauses and directly addresses newer residents who may not understand civilian cooperation, Rachel stands up calm and unflinching and says she's just asking for fair process, nothing more. Megan smiles, condescending as ever, and suggests perhaps some people need time to adjust to civilian leadership after military command structures. Crowd eats it up. Rachel sits down, jaw clenched. Have you ever watched a room full of neighbors turn on someone in real time? Yeah, that happened. Things got nasty fast. Our mailbox filled with anonymous notes. Just follow the rules. Go back to base. Social media posts start popping up. Is military experience an excuse for rudeness? Photos of our yard, problematic landscaping, comments piling on. Megan was orchestrating a campaign to destroy Rachel's reputation, and she knew it, her career. Because here's the twist. Rachel had a security clearance for consulting with defense contractors. And suddenly she gets a letter. Her clearance is frozen pending investigation for patterns of hostility toward civilian authority. Someone filed a federal report. Our whole world stopped. That broke her. For days, Rachel barely spoke. She started packing away her Army medals and photos, thinking maybe Megan was right, maybe she just couldn't adjust. We fought. I wanted her to keep fighting. She wanted to just end the nightmare, pay the fines, apologize, beg the feds to drop the review. It was tearing us apart. And then, like a lifeline, our neighbor Lisa showed up with a manila envelope, months of Megan's emails, financial records, and even recordings showing exactly how Reed Legal profited from every dispute. Lisa had been collecting dirt for years, just waiting for someone brave enough to challenge Megan. The final showdown came on our porch. Megan arrived with another violation, this time for intimidation. She dialed 911, putting on a show for neighbors and their phone cameras. Cops arrive, review Megan's evidence, and I'm sure Rachel's about to be arrested. Then comes that moment. Officer Hayes looks at Rachel's ID. His face goes pale, and out comes the truth. He served under General Blake in Afghanistan. He tells everyone how her leadership saved his convoy from an ambush. Megan's entire web collapses right there. The cops flip the script, see the pattern of harassment. And suddenly, Rachel's not the villain, she's the victim. The viral videos spread like wildfire. Overnight, Rachel becomes a local hero. Neighbors rally around her, the news picks it up, and HOA Karen becomes a meme. Turns out half the neighborhood had stories about Megan's dirty tricks. Within days, a recall petition is flying around, and the next HOA meeting is standing room only. Megan resigns, trying to save face, but everyone knows the truth. The new board brings in reforms, clear bylaws, fair enforcement, annual audits. Rachel. She doesn't run for president, but she helps rewrite the rules so nobody else goes through what we did. And Megan? Well, she faded into the background, still a lawyer, but a whole lot more careful about flexing that authority. The best part. The sense of relief. Cookouts block parties. People actually talking instead of gossiping. Rachel even helps new residents understand their rights, vets and civilians working together. The community heals, property values go up, and folks remember what neighborly means again. So, tell me, have you ever watched someone get destroyed by their own scheme, or stood up to a bully and seen the crowd finally turn? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share your own HOA nightmare or military versus civilian story. Because sometimes justice looks like a viral video, and sometimes it looks like a new beginning for everyone if you're brave enough to fight for it.